Hey, it's Matt here. I thought I'd do a quick little live. I was thinking about my experience of NLP, um, and I did my first NLP practitioner training. Can you believe when I was 12 years old? And my dad dragged me there, kicking and screaming. I didn't want to be there. And the reason he dragged me to that event was because nothing else was working. I'd been doing kind of, homeschooling, tutoring, um, Kumon. I used to burn the books, the Kumon books. If anyone's ever done Kumon, I used to burn them in the backyard. And I felt when it came to learning, I was like in a trance. Everyone else seemed to kind of get it, and I'd be like sitting in class in a daydream, and it'd be like it got to the point where I just couldn't catch up. And what was interesting, he dragged me to this course. I didn't want to be there, didn't know anything about it, didn't know what NLP stood for, neuro linguistic programming. And so I remember when I got in this course, I said to him, I'm going to exit. You can't make me do this. And so he stayed in the assist team to ensure that I did it. And I remember like the first day, I was like, or the first morning, this information sounded really good. Like it was different to high school. It was different to any education I'd ever been through. It felt more relevant. It felt kind of more true. You know, when you hear that the truest truth, it just hits you. And and I remember that the presenter was talking about learning and how we have different strategies around learning, and I worked out that I was off the scale kinesthetic. Like I was always taking things apart, putting them back together. I needed to be moving. I needed to have more of an experiential experience. And it was incredible. In the event, we worked out strategies. We conditioned more of my visual recall or rope learning. And it was really, really amazing. I think, by morning tea, I was like, this information is incredible. And I kind of had like the worst expression on my face. I didn't want my dad to know that I was really enjoying it. By the end of the first day, I was like, everybody needs to learn this information. Why isn't it taught in schools? Now, we did all of this kind of visualization stuff. I didn't think it worked. And a lot of people kind of fall into that trap. They think quick fix, you leave an event, the next day you should be a multimillionaire or attracting all these relationships. It kind of doesn't work that way. But what I found is that there were these seeds that were planted that started to grow. And more specifically, my true voice started to get louder. In fact, I became a leader. I became a little bit outspoken, and it got me in trouble, hence my Troublemakers brand. And it's quite a contrast because I went from like 12 to 13, really isolated, bullied, picked on, lacking confidence, to by the time I hit year 12, I was a leader. In fact, it got me in trouble. I got expelled. Half the school walked out in protest and turned up at my house and said, we're not going to leave until you get back. So the principal, after about 4 or 5 days, calls my mum and says, right, we're going to turn this into a suspension. He can come back. And it was such a profound experience for me because I could see the difference. And I really believe it came back to really understanding NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and really switching that true voice on. Now, fast forward, almost 30 years later. Well, yes, 30 years later, can you believe? Oh my God. Um, I now teach this stuff. I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people, and I've got an event coming up. It's called the NLP Accelerator. We've got 50% off it at the moment, and I can't wait to teach you language patterns and how to really switch on that true voice. It's like when you create excellence in communication, and how we kind of do that is by changing or creating excellence inside, changing the language inside. Then you change the language externally. It is so, so powerful. It gives you a competitive advantage because most people are just, when it comes to communication, are taught about words, which is 7%. When we start to look at NLP Accelerator, we're looking at 93% of communication that's nonverbal. So body language, tonality, language patterns, Milton model, meta model, all of those things. It's so incredible. So if you're a leader and you want to take it to the next level, this is like the training for you. And what's really exciting is that this is kind of like the only time I'm going to be running it online in a live format. We're creating a product. So it's really an incredible opportunity for you to be with me for the next 6 weeks. and let's accelerate your thinking, accelerate your ability to make decisions, especially the big ones, and let's accelerate your ability to take action because that's what we need in this world. We don't have time for procrastination. We don't have time for sabotage. We don't have time for conflict patterns. We need to keep moving. We need to move faster and we need to execute on these incredible opportunities. We're going to see more challenges as the world speeds up. So it's the leaders that unlock their authenticity, work on themselves, are the ones that are really going to break out to success, especially in the next kind of decade with what we're seeing. So if you want some more information, please reach out. We've got 50% off. As I said, it's the only time you're going to be able to work with me on this one. And we'll put a link in the comments so you can reach out directly to me. And I'd love to see you. And I've got so many brand new rapid change techniques that I'm putting into this NLP Accelerator. Anyway, hope you enjoyed my little live. I'll see you in one of our next ones, maybe a minute with Matt or one of the other lives that we'll be doing over the next couple of weeks. So I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.